The Emil Usibelli Awards are peer-nominated accolades presented to UAF faculty members who make exemplary contributions to the discovery, communication, and use of knowledge. These prestigious awards are presented to individuals who display extraordinary excellence in one of three categories: distinguished teaching, research, and service. 81 awardees have been recognized since the inception of the Emil Usibelli Awards in 1992. And we are so very privileged to have these individuals at our institution. The University of Alaska Fairbanks is honored to recognize the 2019 winners of the Emil Usibelli Awards. Charles Mason for Distinguished Teaching. Katie Walter Anthony for Distinguished Research. Michael West for Distinguished Service. Please join us as we learn how these members of our faculty are making a difference in the lives of students and their peers every day. Charles Mason has taught photography and photojournalism at UAF since 1990 and has spent more than 10 years as department chair during that time. He previously worked as a staff photographer at Fairbanks Daily News Miner, and his award-winning photos have appeared in art shows and numerous major publications.
My dad went to Japan in 1971 on a business trip, and he brought me back a Minolta 16 PS. We were driving through DC, and I'm like reading the instructions and trying to load the camera, and I wind it to number one. I look up, and there's a Washington Monument. So I shot a picture of the Washington Monument through the moving car. And that's pretty typical of what I still do today, you know. The camera just was at home in my hands as soon as I got it. I love making images. I love looking at photography. I love talking about photography. I was hired to teach photojournalism. That was in 1990, so this is my 30th year. And I'm more excited about today than I was 10 years ago. And it's always fit really well. And I don't know, I mean, it's sort of like why photography, why teaching? It just sort of in my blood to begin with. And what I loved about the photojournalism job, still do, and about teaching, is it's interacting with whoever you're in front of. You got 12, 15 students in most of my classes because they're lab classes. And part of my job is to figure out how to relate to each one of them at their level. What I would like my students to get out of my teaching is more than photography. I really want them to look around and appreciate life. When I was nominated by JR and LJ and then the letters that I saw, I don't know what you could have better at the end of a career, but it's such an affirmation from the people that matter, from your students. How could you ask for anything more at this point, especially for me? You know, it's really weird. If anything, it's made me wish I had another 30 years to teach. So I really feel like I'm just getting good at this, you know?
Katie Walter Anthony joined UAF's Institute of Northern Engineering in 2007 and has established a strong research program focused on the effects of degrading permafrost on climate change. Her efforts have raised awareness of the self-perpetuating cycle of permafrost-released methane, which is a powerful greenhouse gas.
Well, I started as probably in my childhood. I became very interested in lakes. My family lived near the Sierra Nevada mountains, and we spent a lot of time hiking up there, and for me it was a place to get away. I always thought they were very beautiful, and then as I progressed through my education in science, I came to be very interested in what lies beneath the water surface. In the beginning, I just wondered what could be the significance of these lakes. And so then when I got involved in the methane component and realized that each one of those millions of lakes is emitting methane bubbles, anybody can look at the map or just take a flight into Alaska or from one Alaska town to another, and you will see lakes, thousands of lakes. It adds up to a big number in terms of the emissions, in that the lakes emit methane gas, but they also soak up carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. And so they are contributing to the Earth's carbon cycle in different ways, both as positive feedbacks and negative feedbacks to climate change. So we really need to understand what their role is and how different lakes in different regions differ. Well, it was a really big honor to be nominated for the award. I was particularly humbled by learning that it was a colleague who nominated me that I have a lot of respect for. So it's a joy to work among other people who challenge me and can complement my work. So Alaska attracts a lot of researchers who focus on many different components of the Arctic, and that collective knowledge really helps us to get a more well-rounded understanding of what's going on. And I wouldn't be able to find that at any other university.
Michael West has worked at UAF's Geophysical Institute since 2004 and has served as Alaska State seismologist since 2012. He directs the Alaska Earthquake Center and leads its mission to reduce Alaska's vulnerability to earthquakes through monitoring, research, and public engagement.
People often use the word natural laboratory to talk about Alaska, and it's kind of a cliched term, but especially in the earth sciences, it is absolutely true. When you look out your window, you see the active geology of the earth, because we live in the here and now of all the, the little pops and creaks that happen in the earth. Each one of those is, either part of a set of mountains being built or an ocean being created. Certainly one of the things that I feel lucky associated with my profession is to do something that feels like it matters. But every once in a while, there are times when it becomes the most important thing there is. November 30th of 2018, when the magnitude 7.1 earthquake happened in southern Alaska, was certainly one of those times. Myself, all the staff of the Earthquake Center, this was an all-hands activity for weeks, if not months, trying to provide basic information about what's happening, what to expect, what's real, what's not. That's our informational role in the state. I can say honestly that the Usibelli Award was a complete surprise and meant more to me than perhaps I would have anticipated. Many of those activities don't show up on a resume, they don't show up on a CV. They happen quietly behind the scenes, and the award is a nice, I certainly took it as a recognition that somebody noticed.
The Usibelli Awards recognize these contributions made to the discovery, communication, and use of knowledge in our community. We're proud to present the Emil Usibelli Awards to these exemplary members of our UAF family.